Have you ever sat down to do something important just for a second and suddenly realized half an hour is gone, your phone is in your hand, your task is untouched, and your mind feels tired without knowing why? Here is the uncomfortable truth. You are not lazy, you are not broken, and this has nothing to do with talent. We live in a world that constantly trains your brain to lose focus. Notifications, videos, messages, endless stimulation. And every time your attention breaks, it costs you more than you think. But what if the real advantage in life today is not working harder, not being smarter, but learning how to focus deeply when others cannot? In this video, I will show you a simple principle that has helped people completely change how they work, study, and live. Stay with me until the end, because this might be the skill that quietly changes everything for you. Right now, your brain is fighting a battle you never agreed to fight. Every day, you switch tasks hundreds of times. From messages to videos to thoughts about the future, your attention is pulled apart before it ever has time to settle. This constant switching feels normal, but it comes with a hidden cost. Each interruption drains mental energy and makes it harder to return to deep focus. Over time, you stop trusting your ability to concentrate. You start believing something is wrong with you. But nothing is wrong. Your brain is simply adapting to the environment you place it in. And once you understand this, you can begin to take control again. Today. Now. Because science shows that every interruption forces your brain to reset. After a single distraction, it can take more than 20 minutes to return to full focus. Not seconds, minutes. Now imagine how many times a day you check your phone without thinking. Each glance seems harmless, but together they fragment your attention into pieces too small to create real progress. This is why you feel busy but not effective, why days pass yet important goals remain untouched. Your attention leaks away little by little. The problem is not motivation. The problem is that no one taught you how to protect your focus in a world designed to steal it. And this understanding is the first step toward regaining control of your mental energy starting now. At this point, you might be wondering if there is a way out of this constant distraction cycle. There is, but it does not start with apps hacks or extreme discipline. It starts with a simple principle that has existed for centuries, doing one thing at a time with full attention. This idea comes from Japanese Zen practice, and it is called Ichigyo Zammai. It means giving your complete presence to the single action in front of you, nothing else. No future, no past. When you study, you only study. When you work, you only work. When you rest, you actually rest. This may sound obvious, but in a world that rewards multitasking, it feels almost impossible. The power of Ichigyo Zammai is not force. It is immersion. You do not fight distractions. You notice them and gently return to what you are doing. If this idea already makes sense to you, comment 1 below. It tells me you are ready for the next level. Because once you understand this principle, you stop blaming yourself and you start designing your environment to support focus. In the next part, I will show you how this single shift can change how you learn, work, and live. Stay with me until the end because the method itself is simple, but the impact compounds quietly over time and separates those who drift from those who move forward. One decision today can reshape years ahead. Now, let me tell you a short story that brings this principle to life. There was a teenager named Jake who had big dreams but average results. He was curious, intelligent, and ambitious, yet whenever he tried to study, his mind pulled him elsewhere. He would open a textbook and minutes later reach for his phone. He would watch lessons while thinking about the future. His grades stayed in the middle and his confidence slowly faded. Jake did not lack ability. He lacked control over his attention. One afternoon, after another disappointing test, he asked a teacher for help. This teacher was calm, focused, and rarely distracted. Instead of giving advice about studying harder, he asked one question. How many things are you doing at the same time when you study? Jake realized the answer was always too many. The teacher explained that focus is not talent. It is a skill built through intention and environment. He introduced Jake to a simple practice: one task, one moment. Full presence. That day, nothing magical happened, but something important shifted. Jake stopped seeing himself as broken. He started seeing distraction as a habit he could change. This shift matters because once your identity changes, your behavior follows. You stop forcing discipline and start building systems that support attention. And this is where real transformation begins. Not with motivation, not with pressure, but with clarity and practice repeated every day. And what happened next is the part most people overlook. Small actions done with full attention began stacking quietly. No shortcuts, no hacks, just presence turning effort into progress, one focused moment at a time. And this is how ordinary days slowly create extraordinary long-term results for everyone. After that conversation, Jake did not suddenly become perfect. He still felt distractions pull at him, but now he knew what to do when they appeared. Each afternoon, he followed the same simple routine. One space prepared for study, one subject chosen in advance, one clear block of time. When his mind wandered, he did not get angry. He noticed it and calmly returned to the task, again and again. Something unexpected happened. The work stopped feeling heavy. Minutes passed without resistance. Understanding came faster. Within weeks, Jake was learning more in less time than ever before, not because he studied longer, but because he studied fully. This consistency began to compound. Tests improved, confidence returned, momentum replaced doubt. More importantly, Jake discovered a deeper truth. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about creating conditions where focus becomes natural. And once focus becomes natural, progress becomes inevitable. This is why Ichigyo Zammai works. It does not demand more effort. It demands more presence. And presence changes everything when applied daily with intention. From here, the results began extending beyond school. Jake noticed the change in every area of his life. When he worked, he worked. When he rested, he rested. His mind was no longer scattered. This same pattern applies to anyone. Attention trained daily becomes a long-term advantage. While others rush and multitask, you move calmly and deeply. If this idea connects with your own experience, comment 2 below. It signals that you are starting to see focus as a skill, not a trait. Over time, Jake carried this practice into exams, projects, and long study sessions. Instead of cramming, he prepared consistently. Instead of stress, he felt clarity. His performance rose not from pressure, but from alignment. This is how progress actually compounds. Small periods of deep focus repeated over weeks outperform bursts of intensity. Most people underestimate this effect because it feels quiet, but quiet habits shape loud outcomes. The same rule applies beyond academics. Careers, relationships, and health respond to presence. When you give full attention to the moment in front of you, results improve naturally. Jake did not chase productivity. He practiced presence, and presence reorganized his priorities, decisions, and confidence. This is why the method scales. It does not depend on talent, age, or background. It depends on repetition, awareness, and intention. And once you build this foundation, you are prepared for challenges that overwhelm distracted minds. This prepares you to lead with focus long term. Once this level of focus is built, the environment becomes your strongest ally. Jake no longer relied on motivation to begin. He removed friction before it appeared. His phone stayed out of reach. Notifications stayed silent. Only one task lived in front of him at a time. This is not about willpower. It is about design. When distractions are harder to access, focus becomes easier to maintain. Most people try to change their behavior without changing their surroundings. That is why they fail repeatedly. Jake did the opposite. He shaped his space to support attention, and attention shaped his results. This approach works because your brain follows the path of least resistance. If focus is the easiest option, it becomes the default. Over time, this creates a powerful loop. Focused action leads to progress. Progress reinforces confidence. Confidence sustains focus. This is how simple systems outperform complex plans, not through force, but through alignment between intention environment and action repeated daily. With this system in place, results started appearing faster than Jake expected, not overnight, but steadily and visibly. Each focus session left him calmer, not drained. When exams arrived, he no longer panicked. He trusted the process he repeated every day. One task, one moment, full attention. During tests, his mind stayed quiet. Questions felt clearer. Time felt slower. He moved from problem to problem without rushing. The grades reflected this shift. Strong results replaced average ones. Teachers noticed consistency, not luck. But the most important change was internal. Jake stopped tying his self-worth to outcomes. He focused on execution. The results followed naturally. This is the hidden advantage of deep focus. It reduces anxiety while increasing performance, because when attention is anchored, the mind feels safe. Many people chase confidence by waiting for success. Jake built confidence by showing up fully, again and again. This phase matters because it proves something powerful. When focus becomes a habit, progress stops feeling fragile. It becomes repeatable, predictable, and sustainable over time for growth. Momentum carried Jake into a new stage of life. University applications arrived and pressure followed. Friends doubted him and statistics looked intimidating, but Jake approached this phase the same way he studied. Each essay received full attention. Each test preparation block was deliberate. No multitasking, no rushing ahead mentally. He accepted one truth. Results are never fully controllable. Effort and presence are. This mindset changed everything. Instead of chasing certainty, he focused on execution. Instead of fear, he felt calm commitment. If you recognize this shift in your own thinking, comment 3 below. It means you are learning to trust process over outcome. Months later, an email arrived on an ordinary afternoon. Acceptance. The goal that once felt impossible became real. But the achievement was not the most valuable reward. Jake had